I've got something called the True Beast drop set. What's going on, Super Saiyans? Gabriel Sey, aka The Truth, back with another Teach Me Tuesday. That's what's up. As always, if you find this video helpful in any way, shape or form, hit that like button, smash the ting, yeah, really helps the channel out. Also, don't forget to share it. Share it with anyone. Share it with your uncle. And if you want to submit a question for Teach Me Tuesday, follow me on Instagram, drop me a DM. If the question is good and I feel like it will help a lot of people, I will make a video for Teach Me Tuesday answering that question. So the question for this episode is from DJ No Speak, and it reads, yo, I wanted to ask a question that maybe you could answer in a YouTube video, if it's a good thing to do workouts till failure. Now this is a common question that I've gone back and forth with personally as well, mainly because when you see elite bodybuilders training especially, they're always talking about, you know, pushing past failure. The only growth that happens is when you go past failure. And obviously that has been translated and filtered down into the general gym world. But the question is training till failure even necessary? So firstly, even just looking at the whole pushing past failure, that's where the growth happens. When I look at the points like this, sometimes I think things are taken too literally. Pushing past failure in my mind is a lot of the time when I'm training people, when I see people training in the gym, when I'm training myself, sometimes you can defeat yourself in your mind before your muscles are even fatigued and convince yourself that that set was good and that's everything that you put out. So sometimes pushing past failure is pushing past failure of your mind rather than your muscles. Does that make sense? Now there is actual training to failure, which I know that we've all experienced. How many of you guys have done this in the gym? Especially on bench press. Always happens on bench press. You'll be like, yeah, 7 reps, but your program says 8. So you're like, mate, you spotted me on this, yeah? Yeah? And then he's like, yeah, no worries. Yeah, come on, it's all you. Bar comes down.
No. No.
That bar ain't moving for no one, and that's it. Your body's told you, I'm done. Now, you know I don't like to bore you with the science studies and stuff like that. They're great, and there's some other YouTubers that are doing great things with the scientific studies, but I think sometimes it just needs to be explained normally. And as a natural lifter, it's really hard to train till failure constantly and make gains. You might see it for a little bit, and then, yeah, there's just nothing. I mean, for example, my team No Calves here, yeah, I decided for about 6 weeks, I said, I'm gonna put everything into growing these calves. I'm gonna train them 3-4 times a week, and I'm gonna go till failure every single time. I'm gonna mix up the rep ranges, and I was just battering them so hard. Like they would be sore like all the time, and they just battered them. They got smaller. Yeah, smaller. Depressing, isn't it? Because as we all know, we all go into the gym to tear muscle tissue, and then the recovery is meant to heal bigger. That's the basic science of it, right? I don't know why I did that, because it's true. But if you're constantly training to failure, you're not giving your body a chance to repair, because when you train to failure, one of the studies that I did read said that it can double your recovery time. Double. So if you're smashing it all the time, your body's never getting a chance to even repair properly. So then it becomes counterproductive. But training to failure is sometimes needed to set the bar, so to speak, and test yourself. So I'm going to share with you 3 tips that will show you how and when you can use training to failure to actually progress and get more muscle growth. So training to absolute failure is probably most effective when you're doing it probably like every 3 to 6 weeks. And this is like the testing day that I mentioned before. So you'll spend a good portion of training at sub-maximal load. For those that don't know, that's like training a percentage of your 1 rep max. You don't always need to be maxing out at your 1 rep max all the time and going to failure. Best way to put it is, if you look at the RPE scale, the way that I embrace the RPE scale, not like rigid and did it feel like 8? It felt like 8. Good. No. So the way I saw the RPE scale, if I'm training at RPE 8, it means that I'll be able to get the majority of my reps done. And maybe if I was to squeeze out, so I'll get 8 reps done, and maybe if I was to squeeze out 2 reps, they would be a bit sloppy and a bit messy. So I'm gonna stop at 8. That's the way that I interpret it. And that's the way that it's worked for me. Then occasionally you throw in something mad. Like I've got something called the True Beast drop set. Yeah, the True Beast drop set. Jordan did it couple weeks ago when we trained. And don't worry, his progress stuff, he's making very good progress. I'm gonna post it in the vlog, so if you're not watching the vlogs, make sure you are, because it's all gonna be in there. And I love this drop set because it's a true test of mental and physical toughness. So here's an example. So say you finished on the leg press and you've got 5 plates each side. Now going for your drop set, you're gonna start with the 5 plates and do, say you did 8 reps. For the drop set, you're gonna start with 6 reps so you don't burn out in the very first set. Then you're gonna put weight on. Yeah, on first. So we put 10 kilos either side, and then that's where you have to dig deep, mental toughness, physical toughness, and drive through as many reps. You're aiming for about half of what you started with, so 3. Then you start dropping the weights off. It is horrible, literally horrible. Try it, let me know what you think. Like I said, stuff like that you do on not on a regular basis, you'll completely burn out. Remember, I tried doing it for like 3 weeks in a row, and for the 4th week I was like, But there are other ways that you can incorporate training to failure, where it's not absolute failure, but you know, you're using different parameters to say what the failure point is. So here's a few examples. Time under tension. So for example, on the squat, you go down for 5 seconds, 1 second pause, 5 seconds up. So you're keeping the actual concentric and eccentric is lengthened, so you're getting more time under tension. Then the failure point for this is when that rep count is diminished. Either you're going too fast or you're going way too slow. That again is another failure point. You want to keep it in the parameters that you've set. Then you've also got explosive reps, where it's like, you know, explosive off the chest. I keep using bench press as the example, probably because everyone loves bench press, but where you come down and then like slow or whatever, and then you're judging it by the speed off your chest, speed of the concentric. Once that starts to diminish and it starts to be slower, then you know that, okay, that's the failure point for that. And then like pause reps, where it's like you come down and you're pausing for a certain amount of time before pushing off, and once that time elongates. So you're basically using the rep timing as the indicators for failure. And then number 3, from all of this, remember that progressive overload and volume are king for muscle growth. So you put in progressive overload first before volume. These are the things that you really need to kind of nail before we start even looking at training till failure and that kind of stuff. And when I say volume, I don't mean like really lightweight for tons of reps, because that's just silly. It has its place, but for general muscle growth, you're looking at a heavy weight for the rep range that you're doing. Remember, progressive overload doesn't always have to be increasing the weight. Everyone's like, oh, but the weight can't go up. Yeah, it's true. We're not flipping superhuman. The weight's not always going to be climbing up, but there's other ways that there's other indicators, like with the failure training, that you can use to check your progression. All it is progression over a period of time. So whether that progression is the amount of reps for that weight, the rest times, the lack of fatigue. So you're looking at key performance indicators. And all sales, my sales job is coming out now. Salesy, yeah. KPIs. You need to check the KPIs. It could even be something as simple as the smoothness of the groove of a rep. I mean, sometimes I look at it because I have to be very conscious of my bar path for my bench press. And if I can consecutively have a smooth bar path and a smooth groove that doesn't cause any pain in any other areas, and I can increase the weight on that, then that's a win for me. That's progressive overload. You feel me? And that's it really. But before I wrap up this video like a very nicely wrapped Christmas present, I've brought a new segment to these Teach Me Tuesdays, and that is Transformation of the Week. Transformation Tuesday. It's Transformation Tuesday. I didn't actually link those before. I've literally just linked it now. Yeah, genius. So I'm basically going to be searching the interweb for the best transformation that I've seen that week, and you know, the most inspiring story or whatever, and I'm going to feature it at the end of these videos, give you a little shout out, and yeah, just give you props, because it takes a lot, mindset and physically, to get through certain things. So I want to show love to you. The transformations don't have to be weight loss either. They can be muscle gain, they can be strength gains, they can be anything. But I'm looking more at, like, you know, what propelled you to do certain things. But yeah, you get what I mean, right? Yeah. So this week it goes out to Dean Patch 96, who went from 23 stone to 17 stone in around about a year. That is absolutely epic. I love seeing stories like that. He says he's not finished yet, so keep on trucking. And don't forget to show them some love. Hug me, squeeze me, And on that note, don't forget to hit the like button, smash the ting, yeah, if it really has helped you out. Drop a little comment. Oi, Gabe, I like how you explain the training till failure without the jargon of textbooks. Thanks. You've already shared it with your uncle, so share it with your mates now. Subscribe if you're new, hit the bell, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.
Whipping excursion. I gotta pick up that person. In the trap, whipping that working. You're not a gangster, you're just an internet version.